Welcome to the preface of my first reading for this channel. I've chosen a story, Rip Van Winkle by Washington Irving. Now, the original text is not divided into two parts, but I've chosen to give it two separate readings. I'm still kinda new to long-form narration, and it's a lot of work, it's a challenge, so yeah, I took a break. Thankfully, there's a perfect stopping point almost exactly halfway through the story, so I took advantage of it. Why Rip Van Winkle? Well, I decided that I will focus on American literature. After all, I am American and speak American English. It doesn't mean that I will hold myself exclusively to American literature forever, but at least here at the beginning of this project, I had to narrow my focus a bit, just to make a choice about where to start. There is so much literature out there. Also, it's a short story, and I think I'll be sticking to those at first as well. This gives me a more immediate sense of accomplishment, and with short stories, I think it'll give us a chance to build some rapport before I attempt to maintain your attention along the many posts it would require to read out a novel. I only have so much time in a week to work on these, and I do want to keep a steady stream of posts going. Now, back to the story. I can't remember the last time I read this story. It's possible that it was back in the 5th or 6th grade, and it was a real pleasure to revisit this text. I remembered the plot, but only vaguely, and reading this out really put the imagery into focus for me, and I hope that transmits when you hear my reading of it. It struck me that it's kind of an early American fairy tale, and when that thought occurred to me, I went and looked up when Grimm's Fairy Tales was published. As it happened, the first and second editions were published within the same decade as Rip Van Winkle. I think that one of the most powerful themes in literature such as this is our past or current willingness to suspend disbelief, either for the sake of a story or in the judgment of our own senses, when we find ourselves in the context of the uninhabited landscapes that surround us, outside the city limits, in the forests, the mountains, and other frontiers that we could explore in other stories by other authors, perhaps later on. But let's get started with this tale of the Hudson Valley and the Catskill Mountains. Please see the posts that follow, Part 1 and Part 2 of Rip Van Winkle by Washington Irving. Thanks for listening.